Now in your previous class you have studied the atomic cell model, in which it determines how the electrons are filled in different cells in the atom. That means the atomic cell model determines the atomic structure. It determines the binding energy, the ionization energy, and how the electrons are filled in the different cells. Now, as we have found that when the L is increasing, the angular momentum, then the orbits will go away from the nucleus, because as the L increases, the angular momentum, the repulsive potential will increase. The electrons remain far apart from each other. Now, similarly, the nuclear cell model is one of the most important and significant model of nuclear structure. That is, to know the nuclear structure, how the nucleus is formed, what is its binding energy, what is the ground state spin parity, angular momentum, and its other properties. To explain all this, the nuclear cell model is predicted. Now, the basic points on which the nuclear cell model rests are these: discontinuity in nuclear mass and binding energy. Because when we plot the binding energy per nucleon with the mass number A, then it is found that this curve is not at all a smooth curve. There is certain kinks in it, ups and downs. And to explain this, the nuclear cell model is proposed. Now, because these kinks appear, because at that kinks, there are certain nucleus, particularly for even J and even L, they are much tightly bound than their neighbors. Similarly, anomalies in both total abundance and relative abundances of isotopes and isotones as a function of A. There are certain nuclei for which there are a large number of stable isotopes. For example, the tin. Tin has the highest 10 isotopes, stable isotopes. Similarly, the excitation energy of the first excited state of even Z, even N nuclei, because the first excited state of the even Z, even N nuclei, there is a large gap between the first excited state and the ground state. Theoretically, and the experimental value, there is a difference of 1 to 2 MeV. Difference is there. So, to describe all these anomalies, the cell model is predicted, and certain energies of the alpha and beta decay, nuclear reaction cross section. Now, actually points 2 to 5 are the consequences of 1. These appears from this one, discontinuities in mass and binding energy. Now, actually this happens due to the cell closure in the mass formula, chemical mass formula, due to in the liquid drop model. Now, besides this, there are other certain points which are the ground state parity of the nuclear ground state. What is the parity, what is the spin of the nuclear ground state? That can be predicted by this cell model. The other properties are on which the cell model rests are: number 6 is the parity of the nuclear ground states. Parity of the nuclear ground state. Number 7 is the ground state spin. What is the J value? The ground state spin of both stable and unstable nuclei. Magnetic dipole moment and to some extent the electric quadrupole moments. The magnetic dipole moment and to some extent the electric quanticoherence. Number 9, comparative half-lives of butameters. So these are the main points on which the nuclear cell model rests. That means to explain all this property, the nuclear cell model was proposed. Now, the nuclear cell model actually proposed not to explain the binding energies of the nuclei, but also the total abundances and relative abundances of the nuclei. Now, it is found that the nuclei with Z or N, which is equal to 2, 8, 20, 50, 82 and 126. For these nuclei, for which Z or N equal to 2, 8, 20, 50, 82 and 126, they are very tightly bound. That is, they behave as, say, inert gases in atomic physics. Now these numbers are called the magic numbers because for these nuclei, its ground state and at first excitation there is a large difference. So that means they are very tightly bound, and it is observed in the curve of the binding energy per nucleon when it is plotted with the mass number A. It is found that the kings appears at these points, and it is found that for these elements the stable number of stable isotopes are very large. This is the light nuclei. This is the helium, Z equal to 2. So it has 2 stable isotopes, helium 3, helium 4. The first lightest nuclei with Z is equal to 8. It has more than 2 stable isotopes, that is oxygen. Oxygen Z equal to 8. This is calcium. It has 5 stable isotopes. This is tin. This is the highest. 10 number of isotopes are there, stable isotopes. Now, these nuclei are very much stable, or it has a very strong binding energy compared to their neighboring nuclei. This helium 3 or helium 4, whatever it is very strongly bound compared to its deuteron or say lithium. Similarly, oxygen 8, it is more stable or highest, very strong binding energy compared to your nitrogen 17, nitrogen or say fluorine. Now, therefore, the cell model was predicted. The early aim of the cell model was to predict these magic numbers. Why the strong binding energies appear for which Z or N equal to this one. Now, besides this, stability is usually related not only to binding energy but also to high natural abundance. Because their natural isotopes are large number of isotopes are there stable, they occur in nature. It has 10, it has 5, it has 3. Now the relative stability of different elements is also indicated by the number of stable isotopes. Per element. The element which has more stable number of isotopes is the most stable one. Now, if we plot this number of isotopes with the atomic number, then we find that now we plot the number of stable isotopes with the atomic number. Atomic number is plotted along the x-axis, say Z, and along this the number of stable isotopes. Now, this is suppose say 2, Z is equal to 2, you get 2 isotopes here. Now, suppose say for Z is equal to 8, you get more than 2, 3 isotopes, oxygen. Now, when Z is equal to suppose say 20, you get 5 stable isotopes, calcium. Then you get 10 number of isotopes, which is 10. So for calcium, say for helium, we get 2 stable isotopes. For oxygen, we get 3. Now for calcium 20, you get 5, and for tin, you get 10 isotopes. Now molybdenum is also there. Molybdenum with 50 number of neutrons, it has 7 stable isotopes. When Z is equal to 42, your neutron number is 50, N equal to 50. In this case, Z is 42, molybdenum 92 it is. For tin, Z is equal to 50, Z is equal to say 20, 8 and 2. Now in the early stage of nuclear cell model, its basic aim was to explain the magic numbers. But not only the magic numbers, it has the ability to explain the nuclear spin and parity and other nuclear properties quite successfully. Now, so the cell model, the success of this cell model is astonishing, but the model is very simple, calculation is very simple. Now, here we discuss the extreme single particle cell model. Single particle cell model. Single particle cell model. What's the independent particle model? Now, actually in this model, it is assumed that all the nucleons within the nucleus, we know that the nucleons are moving around in the nucleus around the center of mass. So they have different energies. So at different energies, how many nucleons will be there, or how the nuclear different cells are filled. So to find that, the extreme single particle cell model was proposed. In this model, it is supposed that all the nucleons are moving within the nucleus independently in a potential field, and the interaction between the two nucleons is considered as a perturbation over that potential field which is acting between the particular nuclei and the potential field. Now, so in this model, the property of the nucleus is attributed to the unpaired single nucleon, because the nucleons are, say, fermions, they spin half particles. So according to Pauli distribution principle, only a state can accommodate only two nucleons with the same number of principal quantum number and L value and ML value. Only the S will be there, either S plus up or minus up. So in this way, suppose if there is a particular level, here say 2 protons or 2 neutrons are filled, then if there is another proton, then it has to go to the next higher level. It cannot accommodate here. So the last energy of this last proton or neutron, whatever it is, that will determine suppose it is the ground state structure, then it determines the ground state binding energy or spin parity, whatever it is. So in this cell model, the property of the nucleus is attributed to the single unpaired nucleon. And for even nuclei, if it is even number of n, even number of protons, then all cells will be closed perfectly. Now, so in this cell model, it is assumed that each nucleon moves in its orbit within the nucleus independently. The orbit is determined by a potential energy function say here, that means the nucleons are moving in this potential field, we assume, which represents the average effect, which represents the average effect of all interactions with other nucleons. And it is same for all the nucleons. This potential field will act with all the nucleons, same. So each nucleon here is considered as an independent particle. So each nucleon is considered as independent particle that means the nucleons are moving independently. They does not depend on one another in this potential field. And the interaction between the two nucleons is considered as a perturbation theory, as a perturbation on this potential field. Now, so there is a potential function we consider. Now we consider here, for simplicity of calculation, two potential functions. Now here for simplicity, in calculation we consider here two potentials. One is infinite square wave, infinite square wave, and another is harmonic oscillator. Now, why do we consider this kind of potential infinite square wave? And they are although not realistic, but we consider for simplicity of calculation, because here the driving equation is the Schrodinger equation, and Schrodinger equation is exactly solvable for all partial wave and all energies for the square wave and the harmonic oscillator. So you can find the wave function for all partial waves, all angular momentum, and at all energies. So they are Schrodinger equation exactly solvable, you get exact wave function. So that's why we consider infinite square wave and harmonic oscillator. Infinite square wave means its depth is supposed to be V0 and infinite on both sides. So particle is fully confined. Suppose this is the depth is V0 and there is a certain range of the potential. Now, for harmonic oscillator, there is a sharp edge. It is going to infinity. Whereas for harmonic oscillator, the potential diminishes gradually at the edge. So, with these two kind of potential, we get a contrasting viewpoints. When you solve the Schrodinger equation and find the energy of different cells, then it is found that there is no degeneracy in case of infinite square potential. But there are some degeneracies in the harmonic oscillator potential. Actually, the nuclear potential is not like this. It suddenly goes to zero at a certain point, and here it is infinite. Hard core is not infinite. Hard core is a quasi-hard core. If the energy of the projectile is sufficiently high, it can enter into the core of the potential. So there is a potential, several potentials in between these two. This is the actual nature of the nuclear force, and the potential which is in between the harmonic oscillator and the squirrel potential, that is called the Woods-Saxon potential. Now, the nuclear potential is expected to be in between these two. So, this potential which has an experimental basis is the Woods-Saxon potential. WWDS, Woods-Saxon, SAXON. So there are several kinds of sophisticated potentials with which the cell model calculations are made generally. Now, so with this, here we would consider the potential as a function of VR. Only the central potentials are considered. But with this central potential, here in case of squirrel potential, only it has the ability to produce 2, 8 and 20. Only all these three magic numbers. So here also it cannot produce all the magic numbers, a few. So with the addition of the spin orbit interaction, because we know that the nuclear particle speed up, so there is a strong interaction between the spin and the orbital angular momentum. So if we consider the spin orbit potential along with this central potential, then in that case it can produce the magic numbers. In some cases it is found that only say another, if we add here S dot L, the spin orbit potential here, then it has the ability to produce the 50, 82 and but here it comes another, say instead of 126 it comes at 113. Then by certain modification this level can be made match with this 126. Because there are not only the central and the spin orbit potential, there are another kind of potentials or interactions are there, velocity dependent potential is also there because the nucleons are in insertion motion. The potential depends on the relative velocity, non-locality is there. Now when the collision will take place, the recoil of the other by the other nucleon, you have to consider it, that is called non-locality will arise from that. So if we consider several possibilities, that is central spin orbit interaction, so optical potential or say non-locality and tensor potential, then It has the ability to produce all the magic numbers and explain most of the properties of the nuclei. That means the experimental findings which we find experimentally, that can be explained by this nuclear cell model. But there is no such single potential model we know that which can predict all the properties of the nuclei quite accurately. Okay. Now in the next class we shall discuss with the squarer and the harmonic oscillator potential.